So today, we start with Unit 2, Section 2, Chapter 1. The name of the poem is Cherry Tree. Cherries there are different kinds of cherries, right? Tarah tarah ki cherries world mein milti hain. These are some examples of cherries, right? And a cherry fruit. There are different kinds of cherries. Okay? These are just some examples. And a cherry tree looks like this. Okay, this is a cherry tree. Ye dekho. It is full of cherries, right? Right? Okay. So, our poem today is about cherry tree. So, before we start our poem, let's discuss कि पूरी दुनिया में all over the world trees are revered. Revered माने respected, worshipped, valued, right? तो हमारे यहाँ आप देखते हो जब भी कोई whenever there is an occasion, chief guest क्या करते हैं? Chief guest will plant a sapling, right? Chief guest आएंगे वो स्कूल में कॉलेज में एक पौधा लगाएंगे, right? So that is a symbol of how much we respect trees, right? We value trees, we worship trees. Okay? All right. So trees give us joy, trees give us, what do trees give us? कौन बताएगा?
Oxygen.
Oxygen, very good. Trees give us oxygen. Without trees, we will not have air.
They give.
Sorry? Trees give us?
Fruit.
Fruits, yes. If it is a fruit tree, it gives us fruit, oxygen. All trees give us oxygen. They give us medicines, flowers, fruits. Leaves of some plants are very valuable. They're used as medicine, you're right. Right? Then trees give shelter to birds and animals. A lot of animals, they sleep on trees. A lot of birds, they have their nests on trees. Hai na? So it serves as a, let me just show you. Nest हम सबने देखे हैं?
Yes, ma'am.
But I'll show you how leopards sleep on trees. See? Right? So trees are not homes just to birds. They are also homes to animals. Right? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See how it's sleeping on the tree. Like a baby. With legs hanging. Okay. So trees give a place to rest for both birds and animals. Then they give us fruits, medicines, flowers. And because they give us oxygen, they also keep the environment clean. Right? Okay. Now let's move on to question 2 that says, column A shows your involvement in growing a tree And the stages of a tree, column B shows how you feel at each stage, right? So, when you plant a sapling, how do you feel?
E, ma'am, E. B section E.
You feel
You wanted to make a humble beginning.
okay, very good. So, you start by planting a small sapling. Sapling is a chotu plant, right? A plant
ma'am.
that has just come out of a seed or just a very small. Okay. You watered the plant. Why do you water a plant? Because you care for it. Yes? You want the plant to live, to grow. Then you saw the shoot for the first time. Shoot is the first leaf that comes out of a, let me show you, a shoot on a sapling. See, this is a shoot. This is a sapling and this chotu leaves start coming. So these are called shoot. This is root and this is shoot. See this? A small leaf and then it grows into a bigger leaf. Then more chotu leaves which will again grow into. So these are called shoot. This is the root and this is the shoot. Right? See, this is how it starts. And then the shoot grows and it becomes a sapling, and then the leaves grow in size and number. See this, right? This is a sapling, and when you give it water, it will grow bigger in size, right? Taller, more leaves. The stem will grow in length. All right. So when you see the shoot for the first time, how do you feel?
The new experience brought excitement to you.
Yes, the new experience brought excitement to you. You're like, wow, it has got leaves now. It's growing. My effort is actually bearing fruit. मेरी मेहनत का रंग आ रहा है. मेरा
Yes,
sapling
ma'am.
ग्रो कर रहा है. उसकी एक्साइटमेंट है ना. हम रोज जाके देखते हैं आज कितना बड़ा हुआ, आज कितना बड़ा हुआ, राइट? सो दैट्स एक्साइटमेंट.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
plant gradually saw lush green leaves growing on it. Slowly and gradually, there are more leaves growing on it. What feeling do you experience when you see lots of green leaves?
Hope. Feeling hope.
Yes, the color gives you, you're excited, it gives you a feeling of hope that your sapling will grow into a tree. Then you fence the plant. Why do you put a fence around the plant? To protect it, right? Sometimes animals come and eat up the leaves,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So you want to protect it, so you fence the plant. Now your tree has buds.
Feeling of joy.
Feeling of joy to see a promising future. You know, now it has buds. Now it's going to grow into a big, huge tree. And finally, the birds make a nest on the tree, which is now fully grown and laden with flowers. So you are happy and satisfied because when you planted a sapling, this is what you wanted, right? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
The fact that it happens, you are happy and satisfied. Let's move on to the poem. It's a beautiful poem by Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond was born in Kasoli and he lives in Missouri, I think, yes. He lives in Missouri. He's grown very old now. But he's an amazing person. He will still sit at a bookshop. He will sign books for children. He's a very kind person. So the poem Cherry Tree is about the poet's ecstasy over a tree which he planted that took 8 years to grow. So how much time did the cherry tree take? 8 years. He's expressing his wonder at all the ways of nature and how the cherry blossoms are fragile and quick to fall. So, cherry blossoms, they are very gentle and easy to break. So the tree gives him immense joy as he can see the stars and the blue sky through the dappled green leaves. So he's a child. When he looks up at the tree ke leaves ke beech mein se, he can see the sky and the stars, and that makes him very happy, right? So if he's looking at the stars through this, that means he's a child, he's a baby, right? He's not very old. Okay, let's start with the poem. The thought which prompted, okay, we'll come to the questions later. 8 years have passed since I placed my cherry seed in the grass. So when did he place the seed in the soil?
8 years ago.
8 years ago. So it has been 8 years. A long wait. So he has been waiting for 8 long years for his tree to
Cherry tree.
grow. Yes, when he placed the seed in the soil. Must have a tree of my own, I said, and watered it once and went to bed. So what do children do? They say, I want my own tree. I'm going to grow my own tree. And he watered it once and went to bed and forgot. बच्चों को थोड़े दिन शौक चढ़ता है ना कि I'm going to plant a tree and 1 or 2 days the excitement is there and then they forget about it. ऐसे children want a pet, I want a dog, I want a cat, and then 1 or 2 days they feed the cat and the dog and then they forget about it. Then the parents are feeding the animal, right? So he's like any other child. So एक दिन शौक चढ़ता है, I must have a tree of my own, and then he placed the seed in the grass, watered it once, went to bed and forgot. Then he forgot about the seed. He forgot that he had placed a seed in the grass. But cherries have a way of growing. But cherries, they have a way of growing. When they want to grow, they grow. Though no one's caring very much or knowing. So even though nobody is taking care of this seed, is not planting it every day, but cherries are able to grow on their own without too much care. And suddenly that summer near the end of May, I found a tree had come to stay. So at the end of the year, he says, there was a tree. So he planted a seed, watered it, and then forgot about it. And then after a few months, he sees that there is a tree here. It was very small, 5 months child. So the tree was small. It wasn't a very huge tree. It wasn't a very tall tree. It was a small tree. It was very small, 5 months child. Why does he call it 5 months child? Because 5 months ago, he had put the seed in the grass. So he probably did it in January, and by the end of May, it was a very small tree. Lost in the tall grass, running wild. So it was so small that it was almost not very visible in the tall grass. So there was grass around it, and the tree was also growing among the grass. Goats ate the leaves, the grass cutters scythe split it apart, and the monsoon blight shriveled the slender stem. So what happened? Nobody was caring for the plant. There was no protection. Scythe. I'll show you scythe. Scythe is, this is scythe. It is used to, it's like जैसे हम दराती use करते हैं ना, it's something like that which is used to cut plants.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So he says, बेचारे छोटे से plant, 5-month child को क्या हुआ? छोटे से plant को, the goat ate the leaves, and the grass cutter, when he was cutting the grass, along with the grass, he cut the cherry tree also. Split it apart. And a monsoon blight. So the goat ate the leaves, the grass cutter cut the stem along with the grass, and then the monsoon came, the rain came, and it damaged the plant further. See how much the poor plant is going through. The goat destroyed the leaves, the grass cutter cut the stem, and the monsoon, it spoiled, ravaged, destroyed the plant, shriveled the slender stem. Slender is patla sa. So उसका जो पतला सा stem था वो shrivel हो गया. Shrivel means dried up, became सुकड़ा हुआ. So because of all these challenges, it became shriveled up. Even so, next spring, I watched 3 new shoots grow. इतना कुछ होने के बाद भी जैसे वापस बारिश, स्प्रिंग आया, जैसे वापस स्प्रिंग को क्या बोलेंगे? What do you call spring in Hindi? बसंत आई, ऋतु का मौसम आया, बसंत ऋतु आई. So what happened? He saw 3 new shoots grow. That means the plant continued to grow. Even after so many problems, it continued to grow. The young tree struggled, upward thrust its arms in a fresh, fierce lust. So what happened? And then suddenly the plant grew in height. It thrust into more growth. Right? For light and air and sun. So what was it desperate for? Light, sun and air, because it wanted to grow. Let's just translate these. Oops, 1 second. The young tree struggled, upward thrust its arms in a fresh, fierce lust for light and air and sun. Right? So just take a look at its translation once. Okay? The young tree struggled upward thrust its arms in a fresh, fierce lust for light and air and sun.
ते कोवळे झाड वरच्या दिशेने झेप घेण्याचा संघर्ष करते, प्रकाश, हवा आणि सूर्यप्रकाशाच्या तीव्र ओढीने आपल्या फांद्या चहूकडे पसरवते.
ठीक है? Okay. So I could only wait as one who watched, wandering while time and rain, the rain made a miracle from green growing pain. So he says, I did not do anything. I just waited. When I was waiting, what was happening? Time and rain they were creating a miracle out of the green. This green plant was growing as if it was a miracle. And how was it growing? With the help of rain and time. That means it needed time to grow. I went away next year, spent a season in Kashmir, came back thinner, rather poor, but richer by a cherry tree at my door. So next year he went away to Kashmir. So he came back thinner. He spent a lot of money there. But when he came back home, he saw there was a cherry tree at his door. 6 foot high, my own dark cherry. So it had become a huge tree, 6 feet high tree. And I could scarcely believe it, a berry. So there was also a berry on the tree. It had not just grown into a full grown tree, it also had a berry on it. उसको विश्वास ही नहीं हुआ कि उस पे fruit भी आ गया. There's a berry also on it. Ripened and bejeweled in the sun, hung from a branch, just one. So on just one branch, one cherry was hanging. Ripened is पका हुआ, jeweled is सुंदर लग रहा था, ये गहने की तरह. Right? And next year there were blossoms, small, pink, fragile and quick to fall. And next year there was a lot of pink flowers. मैंने आपको दिखाया था ना? When you look at a cherry tree, it has pink flowers. Here, see? Look at these pink flowers. So, पहले pink flowers आते हैं and then you have the fruit. So he says, next summer में क्या हुआ? My tree was full of pink flowers. Next year there were blossoms, small, pink, fragile, quick to fall. So those flowers, they break very easily. They fall off the tree very easily. At the merest breath, the sleepiest breeze. So even with very gentle breeze, the flowers just fall. I lay on the grass at ease, looking up through the leaves at the blue, blind sky, at the flinches as they flew, and flitted through the dappled green. So he says, I lay on the grass, I lay on the ground, and I looked up at the sky through those leaves. And dappled green, there were patches of color. Kahin pe leaves light green hai, kahin pe dark green hai. So he's calling it dappled green. So all the leaves were not of the same color. They were having different shades of color, right? While bees in an ecstasy drank of nectar from each bloom, and the sun sank swiftly and the stars turned in the sky. So he sat there, he lay there under his cherry tree, and the bees were very happy. They were going from flower to flower collecting nectar, and slowly the sun sank. It was evening and the stars started appearing in the sky. And moon moths and singing crickets and I. और अब रात हो गई है. Now at night there are moon moths at night and there are, you can hear crickets. Cricket एक कीड़ा होता है जो रात को बहुत शोर करता है. कहता है now I can see the moon moths and I can hear the singing crickets और मैं वहाँ पे लेटा हुआ हूँ. And yes, I Praise the night and stars and tree, that small the cherry grown by me. And he was feeling that sense of satisfaction that my tree has grown. ये चेरी ट्री मैंने लगाया था, राइट? जो हमने शुरू में बात की थी, how you feel when you plant a sapling and it grows into a full grown tree, right? You feel happy and satisfied. So this is how the poet is feeling once his tree has grown, right? एक बार इसको हम थोड़ा सा समझ लेते हैं poem को. It's a very simple poem. We think the poem is about a cherry tree. It's not. It's about resilience. कि problem आए टूटना नहीं, continue to grow, right? So the poem is about resilience and nature. Nature bounces back every time, right? Nature is very self-preserving. And the joy of nurturing. जब हम प्यार से पाल पोस के किसी चीज को बड़ा करते हैं, the nurturing, it makes us happy. So what is the poem about? The poem is about what happens in 8 years, right? शुरू में he plants a seed and then after 8 years it becomes a full grown cherry tree, right? So Ruskin Bond is writing as a child, right? And he's talking about the beauty of nature, the wonders of nature. कहते हैं ना miracle. Miracle is ajuba. Miracle. Chamatkar. Right? Okay. And he says that one single cherry seed becomes a full grown tree in 8 years, right? So the poem is about time and how human and nature are connected through patience. He says when you give things time, जब हम किसी चीज को समय देते हैं, time देते हैं, we are able to grow to our full potential, right? So patience is important, time is important, right? Only then things happen. शुरू कैसे हुआ? The poet wanted a tree, but he did not want to work hard for it. उसने seed लगाया और वो भूल गया, right? He planted the seed, he watered it once and then he forgot about it. उसको एक ट्री चाहिए था तो वो एक बीज लगा के और भूल गया. And then, but nature being nature, nature helped this seed to grow into a plant. तो पहले क्या हुआ? जब ये plant sapling बना तो he finds this 5-month-old child, छोटा सा sapling in 5 months. But then what happens? A grass cutter cuts it, goats eat up the leaves, and then monsoon and what happens in the monsoon? Weather and disease. वो सुकड़ जाता है, shriveled up. See how this has become dry and shriveled up, right? तो ये सब उस पे अत्याचार आते हैं, right? तो ऐसा लगता है now it's going to die because animals have destroyed it, man has destroyed it, and nature has destroyed it. सब उस पेड़ के बेचारे के जान के पीछे पड़ गए, right? But what happens? It again grows. बहुत हिम्मत से, ताकत से, it grows into the sky because, and with the help of sun, air, and light. It grows, and then the poet goes away to Kashmir, and when he comes back, पीछे से क्या हो रहा होता है? उसकी sapling is growing bigger, and finally, when he comes back from Kashmir, he sees one cherry. He He sees मेरा पेड़ अब बड़ा हो गया है, my cherry tree has grown and there is just one cherry shining in the sun. And the next year, it grows into a full grown cherry tree with pink flowers. ठीक है, ये 3 शब्द है, ये हम इनको समझ लेते हैं. Pink is the color of life. Fragile is delicate. छुई मुई, जो बहुत जल्दी छूने से खराब हो जाए. Quick to fall, जो flowers have a very short life, right? बहुत जल्दी फूल टूट जाते हैं, गिर जाते हैं, सूख जाते हैं, right? And then who all benefit from the tree? The bees are benefiting from the tree. Bees को nectar मिल रहा है वो शहद बनाने के लिए, right? The birds are happy because they are getting shelter, a place to fly and rest. Moon moths and crickets are also happy because at night they are on or near the cherry tree. And of course the poet is happy. Why is the poet happy? Because he had planted that seed and now it has grown into a tree. So it is very happy. तो इससे हम क्या सीखते हैं? That the tree does not exist for itself. It creates an entire world for others. एक ट्री के होने से कितने लोगों को कितना फायदा है. So the tree exists for other people, right? Now this is also very interesting. A small action when given time transforms not only the environment but the person who started it. छोटी छोटी चीजें जो हमें छोटी लगती हैं, they can actually change our lives, right? And that's the end. Now let's go back to our poem. Let's go to the questions in the poem. Okay. Find proof from the poem for the following. Find proof from the poem for the following. The poet has mentioned several seasons. Yes, he says, he talks about summer, then he talks about 5 months later, the grass running wild, then he talks about the rain. So this is how he talks about different seasons. The poet's minute observations of the steady growth of the cherry tree. Minute is छोटा से छोटा. So इसका मतलब poet बहुत ध्यान से अपने cherry tree को देख रहा है. He's noticing the minutest of details. How do we know? कि पहले वो he calls it a 5-month child, right? And then next time he sees 3 shoots grow. छोटे छोटे 3 leaves निकल रहे हैं, वो भी उसको पता है, right? Then he says, he comes back and notices 1 cherry. A cherry tree नहीं, ये a berry hung from a branch, just 1. एक berry थी, that also he noticed, right? And then he notices the flowers. That means he notices the growth of the tree very carefully. The colorful imagery in the poem. There is the colorful imagery in the poem. He says blossoms pink. यहाँ पे he says dappled green. He says pink, fragile and quick to fall. Right? These are examples of color imagery. The struggle of the cherry tree for survival. जिंदा रहने के लिए cherry tree क्या क्या लड़ाइयां लड़ता है. So you know the struggle that the cherry tree, this was the struggle, right? Struggle was against animals. The goats ate the leaves. Struggle was against humans. The grass cutter cut the plant. And then struggle is against nature. So animals, human beings, and nature. Right? So this was the struggle of the cherry tree for survival. Okay, straight whether the following statements are true or false. Correct the false statements by finding evidence from the poem to support your remark. The cherry tree did not take long to grow. False. Cherry tree took. How long did it take? कितना टाइम लगा चेरी ट्री को ग्रो करने में?
8 years.
8 years.
8 वर्ष.
Right? 8 वर्ष. So that means this is false. Correct statement is the cherry tree took 8 years to grow. Birds and insects were benefited from the tree. True or false?
False.
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 True.
चलो देख लेते हैं. We discussed this. हमने कहा किस किस को फायदा हो रहा है ट्री से? Bees शहद बना रही हैं. Birds अपना नेस्ट बना रहे हैं. Moth और crickets कीड़े मकोड़े, they are around the tree, on the tree, under the tree at night. And then the poet who has planted the tree. तो कितने लोगों को ट्री का फायदा हुआ है? So let's go back to the question. The question is, birds and insects have benefited from the tree. True or false?
True.
True. उनको फायदा हुआ है, right? They are able to rest on the tree. They are able to live on the tree, around the tree. Okay. The poet was exalted at the sight of the cherry tree. Exalted is very, very, very happy. Extremely happy. So was he very happy at the sight of the cherry tree? Yes. आप अगर एक बीज में पानी डाल के भूल जाओ and then you see a tree, will you not be extremely happy? कि अरे मैंने
Yes.
कुछ किया ही नहीं है, इतना बड़ा हो गया, right?
Yes.
Yes, he was exalted at the sight of the cherry tree. Acha, next statement. The poem has an underlying message about the importance of trees. कवि हमें बता रहा है कि हम ऐसे ही कोई पेड़ लगा देते हैं, लेकिन उससे भी कितने लोगों को फायदा होता है. So is he trying to tell us that trees are important?
Yes.
Yes, it is true.
हाँ.
क्योंकि है ना, क्योंकि हमने यहाँ पे भी देखा, he is trying to tell us that not only I am happy, but the insects are happy, birds are happy, bees are happy. तो वो indirectly हमें यही बोल रहे हैं that. So he is trying to tell us that the bees are happy, the birds are happy, the insects are happy, and of course I am happy because मैंने वो पेड़ लगाया था, right? So is he telling us the importance of trees?
Yes.
So this is true. The poet repents planting the cherry tree. Repent माने पछताना. Poet पछता रहा है कि मैंने क्यों लगाया?
No.
No, false. So what is the right statement then?
The poet happy.
Poet is
Happy.
very happy, exalted, right?
Excited.
Excited. Very good. Okay. Let's come to a small action. Thought put in action leads to great achievement. हमें बहुत बार लगता है अरे ये तो छोटी सी चीज है, बट छोटी छोटी चीजों से that is
बड़ी-
how बड़ी अचीवमेंट्स होती हैं, राइट? हमें लगता है
Yes.
आधा घंटा ही तो पढ़ा है मैंने, बट आधा घंटा हम रोज पढ़ेंगे तो क्या होगा?
बहुत सारा नॉलेज मिलेगा.
बहुत सारा नॉलेज मिलेगा. मैजिक इन द एग्जाम, मैजिक इन द क्लासरूम, राइट?
Yes.
और सबसे बड़ी बात है बेटा, all your interviews for college, for school admissions, for college admissions, for job interviews, you will have your interviews in English. So English
Yes.
आपका सिर्फ एक सब्जेक्ट नहीं है, ये एक भाषा है. It's a language that you must learn, बेटा. Okay?
Okay.
Promise me you'll take it a little more seriously.
Yes.
हाँ, इसके लिए मैं क्या
Promise,
करती हूँ?
ma'am.
वेरी गुड बेटा. सो आई एम गोइंग टू गिव यू दिस रिसोर्स. इसमें मैंने क्या किया है, इस पोम की समरी मैंने इसमें डाली है, जिसमें ब्रैकेट में मैंने न्यू वर्ड्स के मीनिंग हिंदी और मराठी में डाले हैं, सो दैट यू अंडरस्टैंड द समरी. ठीक है?
Yes, ma'am.
जो हमने क्वेश्चंस अभी डिस्कस किए हैं उसके आंसर्स आपको यहाँ पे मिलेंगे. और पोम में जितने भी न्यू वर्ड्स हैं, वो सब आपको यहाँ पे मिलेंगे, जैसे सीड, बीच और उसका एक सेंटेंस. मिरेकल, चमत्कार, उसका एक सेंटेंस. ब्लाइट्स, साइट, शिवल, फियर्स, इस तरह से जो भी नए शब्द थे इस कविता में, उसको मैंने इस टेबल में डाला है. सो व्हेन यू मेक अ बिल्डिंग यू नीड ब्रिक्स, राइट? भाषा में हमें लिखने बोलने के लिए क्या चाहिए? वर्ड्स चाहिए. वर्ड्स आर आ ब्रिक्स. अगर हमारे पास ईंटें नहीं होंगी हम बिल्डिंग नहीं बना सकते. सो वी डोंट नो वर्ड्स, वी कैनॉट एक्सप्रेस आवरसेल्व्स इन सेंटेंसेस. ताकि आपको ब्रिक्स मिले, ये सब आपकी ब्रिक्स हैं, ये सब आपको सीखनी पड़ेगी ताकि आप अपना आंसर लिख सकें एग्जाम में, आप इस भाषा में बात कर सकें, सो दैट यू आर एबल टू टॉक इन इंग्लिश, कम्युनिकेट इन इंग्लिश, राइट इन इंग्लिश, थिंक इन इंग्लिश, राइट?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है बेटा? सो लर्न ऑल दीज न्यू वर्ड्स एंड दीज आर नोट्स I've made for you, and these are the answers to the text questions. जो बुक के एंड में ये जो क्वेश्चंस हैं ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग वाले, उनके आंसर्स भी you will get in this resource that I will share with you. ठीक है? These are all the answers to the questions at the end of your book. ठीक है बेटा? ये
ठीक है.
एप्रिसिएशन है. इसमें पोम का टाइटल क्या है, पोइट का नाम क्या है, पोम की मैसेज क्या है, व्हाट इज द थीम, पोम में क्या डिवाइसेस यूज किए गए हैं.
Tree
क्या?
very important.
वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. तो ये आप अच्छे से पढ़ोगे, याद करोगे, तो आपको अप्रिसिएशन लिखने में हेल्प मिलेगी, राइट? तो ये बहुत सुंदर है. ये आपको ये समरी एक बार और मैंने डाली है पैराग्राफ्स में. इसमें ट्रांसलेशन, इसमें बीच में दूसरे वर्ड्स डले हुए थे और ये बिना उसके है. ठीक है? ये सिर्फ इंग्लिश में है. ये जो समरी है आपके लिए, ये फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ है इंट्रोडक्शन, ये बॉडी पैराग्राफ है बीच वाला, और ये कंक्लूजन है लास्ट वाला. ठीक है? तो ये आप एक बार पढ़ सकते हैं. ये एक स्टोरी के फॉर्म में मैंने इस पोएम को आपके लिए लिखा है. ठीक है? और चेरी ट्री के द्वारा व्हाट इज द पोएट ट्राइंग टू टीच अस, चेरी ट्री से हमें क्या सिखाना चाह रहे हैं वो? ग्रोथ, रेजिलियंस एंड मिरेकल. आपको ध्यान हो, इसमें हमने डिस्कस किया था कि क्यों वो हमें क्या सिखाना चाह रहे हैं, कि हमें प्रॉब्लम्स में हार नहीं माननी चाहिए, राइट?
Yes.
मेहनत का फल मिलता है.
Right.
उसको 8 साल तक लगा कि मैं तो बीज डाल के भूल गया हूँ, अब तो ये पेड़ उगेगा नहीं, और एकदम से उसको इतना बड़ा पेड़ उगा हुआ मिला, राइट? सो दिस इज व्हाट ही इज ट्राइंग टू टीच अस, कि हम जो छोटे छोटे एक्शंस करते हैं उनके बड़े रिजल्ट्स हमें मिल सकते हैं अगर हम
मेहनत की तो।
मेहनत करें तो। लगे रहो मुन्ना भाई, राइट? It took 8 years, but this seed became a full grown tree. ठीक है बेटा?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any questions बेटे?
No, ma'am.
You promise to revise?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right बेटे, class के बाद I'll share this resource with you. ये आंसर वाला और ये जो PDF मैंने आपके साथ पिक्चर वाला शेयर किया, उसको
Okay,
रिवाइज
ma'am.
पढ़ने के लिए यूज करना, ठीक है? And I'll see you in the next class. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye bye. Bye dear.